This is the Gray Area, of course. I am your host, D. Gray. I'm very excited for this show, Episode 9, man. This might be one of my favorite shows. I have a very special guest. Special guest I was referring to, man. Without her, there is no Gray Area, and she's the number one woman in my life. And we are starting a little series in March because it is Women's History Month. And who better to start it off than my own mother? So, Karen Gray, thank you for coming. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine today. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, first of all, thank you for coming on again. I know you're a very busy woman with a lot to do on your plate. So, for you to take some time out to join my podcast, I really appreciate that. So, just could you tell the folks listening just a little bit about yourself? How'd you, growing up, where'd you live, grew up in, stuff like that?
Okay. Once again, let me say my name is Karen Gray. I have two beautiful sons that I truly adore. My oldest, Deontay, and my youngest, Trayvon.
Swag.
I grew up in Houston, Texas. I have three sisters and two brothers. I had one older sister that did pass away.
Rest in peace, rest in peace.
As I said, I grew up in Third Ward, attended Ryan Junior High School, Sterling High School, and from then on I went to Texas Southern University where I majored in chemistry and minored in mathematics. And presently, after graduating, I started working with Continental Airlines, which is now United Airlines, and I have been there for 31 years.
There it is, Superwoman right there. And yeah, as you heard, man, she's a very accomplished woman. You know, I get a lot of my ambition and drive and focus from not only her but my dad also, but she definitely drives me to be the best person I can be, man. So back just on the Women's History Month, for those that don't know, I didn't know until I saw it on Twitter that it was even that March was even Women's History Month. Did you know that before, or was it something you already knew?
Well, yes, I was aware of it because my job, they sent out an email in reference to Women's History Month asking for volunteers for one of the programs that we're going to have.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good right there. Yeah, see, it's crazy. I don't even know if, we were taught that, in high school or school that it was Women's Month, because I know there's an International Women's Day, March 8th, which is when this should be dropping, so that'd be very timely. But yeah, so was it something that you knew growing up, or is it kind of something that you kind of learned over time through your job and stuff like that?
Right, it was something that I learned over time. Growing up, I wasn't aware of Women's History Month, but as I became a young lady, involved in college and different organizations and everything, then I learned of Women's History Month, and I've just been a little bit more involved in it with my job.
Awesome. For those that don't know, my mom's also Greek. She's an AKA.
Excuse me? Yes.
And just as a woman, how active are you in your Greek life now? Is it still a big part of you?
Well, the Greek life is still a part of me. It's not as big of a part of me as it was in college.
Naturally.
And of course, and that's mainly because with work and with raising my two sons, and with one being special need, it requires a lot of my time. So I have not joined a grad chapter, but hopefully in the future, the plans is to join a grad chapter and be more active. But I'm still still
Right,
AKA, and I still associate with a lot of my sorors.
Right, and it's funny just seeing, like your friends come around and stuff. They still be in their pink and green. It trips me out. They scare me. I just be like, what are these old women? What are they talking about? I'm just kidding. But
and we still meet up. We still try and meet myself and my line sisters. Yes, we do. We still meet and mingle, and we're there for each other. We're very supportive of each other. If one has a death in her family, we're sending whatever we can send for them, sending our condolences, and if it's possible for us to get there for the services, we will do that, and we just try and still stay in touch.
Love that. So, okay, speaking or thinking back to the Women's History Month and like what it means as the entire month is kind of dedicated to, historical, strong women who, pushed the movement forward and, women getting equal rights and inequality and just a whole bunch of different avenues. To you, what does it mean to be a woman, and has your ideas of being a woman changed over the years? You could just answer the first question. What does it mean to you to be a woman?
For me, to be a woman means that I have to wear many hats. I have to be a mother. I have to work. Whether I'm working in the home or on my job, I'm working. I have to lead. I have to provide. I have to set a good example for my children, and in all that. And then also I have to first put God first. Of course, we don't want to leave him out, because we have to put God first.
Absolutely.
But in all that, I have to try not to lose myself of who I am. I still have to be strong and independent and push and pursue my goals and my happiness as well. And just make sure that my children are being the best individual or the best young men that they can be.
That's good right there. I love that answer. And not only that, you're not just a woman, you're a Black woman also.
Yes.
So that brings up a whole realm of different, issues and stuff. So, I always, whenever I see a Black woman, man, and it's definitely taught from you and my dad just always to be openly respectful and openly loving to, of course, not only Black women, but everybody you come across, because, it's just...
Right. But I understand, because as Black women, sometimes we have different obstacles from
Absolutely.
women of other colors. So I
Right.
understand what you're saying there.
Absolutely. And speaking back to your upbringing and your mother and stuff, my grandmother, how did she raise you, and how did you, or what things did you take from how she raised you and your brothers and sisters, and how you brought it to how you raised me and my brother? Were there any differences? Did you keep some of the same things?
Yes, there were some differences, but
We still got whooped.
yes,
Still got whoopings on the regular.
But for the most part, I tried my best to raise you all the way that she raised myself and my brothers and sisters, because I believe that she did an excellent job, and we're an example of that. She raised us in sort of an old-fashioned way, where she didn't take a whole lot off. You did not talk back.
Mm-hmm.
You did not miss school. You did as you were instructed to do. You didn't say a lot. You had to be very respectful, and she just didn't play. She was one of those mothers that did not play, and it was important to her for us to become the best young people, young adults that we could be. And that's how I tried to raise you all, to just try to become the best young man that you can be, and be respectful. Always be respectful. And sometimes it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. And just reach for your goals. Just strive for your goals, and that's how she raised us. So I tried my best to try and raise you all along the same lines, and I believe, looking at you as an example, that I have done an excellent job.
I would say you did, and I think a lot of the family would say the same. I want to ask, did your mom go to college, or?
No, unfortunately.
So you're first generation?
Yes.
You and your brothers and sisters?
Yes, unfortunately, my mom did not have the opportunity to go to college. She was raised in the country.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It was a lot harder, really, back then too, when she was growing up.
Yes, it was. It was a blessing to be able to finish high school, which she did. But she didn't have the opportunity to go to college when she moved here and married my dad. You know, she began working.
Right.
And so she never attended college. So she was
what part
very happy to have her children attend college.
What part of the country did she?
She's from Grapeland, Texas, and for many of you may not have any idea where that is. It's near Crockett, Texas. That may be a little bit more familiar. Crockett, Texas, or Palestine, Texas. Going 45 north.
Oh, okay. So with her not going to college, what was the motivation to go to college? Did she push on y'all to continue your education after high school? Was it well, if y'all don't go to college, y'all better get a job or y'all gonna be out the house type?
Yes, that her motivation was definitely there. First, her motivation was there for us to make very good grades in school. She did not believe in you bringing home any bad grades, so she motivated us to really work hard in high school and in our grade school levels. And after high school, yes, it was understood from her that you were to go to college, or if you weren't going to go to college, you definitely had to get a job or a military option. And of course, for me, college was the only option.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. And I think you did well in college.
Thank you.
Thank you. So transitioning from college to married life to where you are now not where you are now, to the point where it got to where you were raising me and my brother by yourself. Well, not strictly by yourself, but in the home by yourself. Mm-hmm. What were the challenges that came with raising two young boys, and one being a special needs kid in a house by yourself?
Well, some of the challenges, because I was and am still presently working. Mm-hmm. It was a challenge because I was working and trying to raise two young boys in the home by myself, and with one being special need, there was an extra challenge, and just trying to make sure that you stayed on top of your schoolwork and didn't bring home anything below a B, because I did not allow any grades below a B. Yeah. And then with you being an athlete, I had to get you to practice or get you to this track meet and make sure that you stayed on top of your work all at the same time, and then you get dinner ready and take care of the household, and then work with your brother that was special needs. So it was quite challenging, but we have challenges in life, and you have to overcome them. You have to figure out a way to push through and to work through, and that's what I did with the challenges. I just figured out my way, what I needed to do to get A done, B done, C done, and that's what I did.
That's awesome. On the grades thing, she wasn't kidding about you couldn't bring A's or B's home, like her or my dad. Like I remember getting a report.
No, you couldn't bring C's. You could bring A's and B's.
Shoot.
You could bring A's and B's, but you couldn't bring C's.
C's, yeah, you're right. I remember I brought home a report card. It was you had to bring A's and B's home only, and you couldn't have a U or P for conduct, because that was like a guarantee whooping, man. And I remember I had like a 78 or something, but back then they were just doing letter grades. and everybody was showing their grades. Like, man, yeah, I got 2 C's, 2 B's, 2 A's. I was like, man, I got all A's, but I got a C, man. I ain't trying to bring this back home, man. My parents gonna whoop my ass. But I think just that kind of expectation of excellence really did me justice as I got older, and I really just understood the importance of, because grades, they not only measure how smart you are, but they measure your discipline and how hard you work and how you can stay focused, and just relating it to the real
and your
world.
preparation.
Oh, absolutely. And preparation is everything when trying to, accomplish anything, including your dreams, man. So I want to say thank you for that. At that moment, I was like, man, they tripping. I don't know why they always on me like that, but I definitely understand it now.
And that's because we had already been where you were trying to go.
Yeah, and I think I just think it's part of the growing process. As a kid, you kind of don't understand why your parents and your mother are always riding you. You just like, man, like, just let me live, let me figure this out by myself. But I just think you need that, and that's why I always, whenever I'm talking to somebody and they're talking about how you sure as your kid, I always be like, man, you got to stay on them, because you want them to learn lessons now that they won't have to learn when they're 22, 23, 24.
That's true.
So,
and that's part of being a parent, guiding.
Yeah,
that's what we do. That's what parents do. You guide, and you want to guide you to the best.
Yeah. Absolutely. Man, I have another question. I'm thinking back to when I was growing up, 10, 11, 12, and y'all like used to let me outside all the time with no kind of real. I mean, y'all trusted me. Y'all told me my guidelines being before the street lights come on and everything like that.
Was a rule.
But like literally, I would be nowhere in sight, and I just think about it in today's age. And if I were, I mean, of course, I'm hoping to have kids. Not anytime soon, of course. Before you say that, not anytime soon. But I just like today's age. There's so much craziness going on outside and in the world. I'm just like, how back then did they even trust me or trust the world around me to even just let me outside like that? Because I would just go. I'd leave the house probably like 11 o'clock, and I wouldn't come back until the streetlights. Before the streetlights come on, which is about like 8, 9.
Yes. And we trusted you because we knew how we had brought you up.
But you couldn't trust everybody else.
Exactly. We couldn't trust everybody else, and we couldn't trust the world around you.
It was a different time back then,
too. It was a different time, and then we felt like we moved to out in the suburbs to maybe a little safer environment, although in this day and time, it really doesn't. Nowhere is safe. I mean, we all know that. But we felt that where the neighborhood that we were in, and because I knew the parents of the children that you were playing with,
right.
And so I felt I felt comfortable letting you go, because I felt that even though you were still young, we had instilled in you certain values. And I felt that you would still carry out those values as a young child. You would still know right from wrong and what you should do and what you should not do. But it's a different time. This is 20 years 20 years later.
Yeah.
And the world is different. It's so different.
Yeah.
And it right now at this present time, I would not let you go.
It's just, I don't know, man. You see, because you watch the news a lot. I don't know
yes,
why.
I watch the news a lot, and
right, and I just pass by, and I just be like, whoa, like, did that really happen? And I just be like, I would never want to let my kid outside without me watching.
Yes.
But like you said, it's a different time.
Yes, you really can't do that anymore. And when I was growing up, your mother and dad raised you, but then
Everybody
in the neighborhood raised you.
Right.
I mean, if the neighbor next door saw you doing something or knew you were supposed to be in at the time, they would get on you, and then they would tell your parent. And so you were raised with the neighbors and with everybody, and here, because I knew their parents, I knew, hey, at a certain time, if you haven't left, they're gonna send you home. So I kind of felt okay letting you out.
Gotcha. Switching gears a little bit, as a black woman working, have you personally faced any type of oppression or challenges to whether it was, trying to get equal pay for a raise you deserve compared to a colleague who was a male who made more, stuff like that? Have you ever personally experienced that?
No, I haven't personally experienced that, and that's mainly because in this day and time now, they don't put on the job line or job link, they don't put the pay.
Oh.
And so you may put in for a position, but you may know the grade level, but you don't know the pay. And so you don't know what a male right next to you doing the same job, you don't know what his earnings is.
Oh, wow.
Because the pay is not out there on the job site.
Oh.
So I can't say that.
That's interesting.
Yes.
That is interesting. So, in today's age, what do you think is the major difference between how women presented themselves when you were growing up and how they are now? And is there a positive or negative to either one?
You said how women presented themselves.
Right, just image-wise, how they present themselves, how they present, how they carry themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Today, younger women than myself.
Yeah, younger
as
women.
opposed to how the women of my age carry ourselves. Right. Well.
I watch House Party though. I know how y'all used to get down too.
But you mean how we carry ourselves today compared to
just
young women? Well, the younger women have not experienced the things that probably, I don't know all of the experiences, but I would think that they probably have not had as many experiences as a woman as the older women have. So I would say that the younger women probably, and I hate to just speak for them because I really don't know how they feel or what they think.
Of course.
But I would say that I'm not sure if they're as focused as we are at this point, because some of them, they're still in college, they're still doing different things that we were doing when we were young women.
Yeah, what do you mean by as focused?
As focused on their goal or their future or what they want in life, because a lot of times you may think you know what you want. Even I myself, as a young woman in college, I thought I knew what I wanted, but then as you live, as you learn, as you experience, you may realize that's not really what you want. Your goals may change, your wants may change, and that's just part of life.
Yeah.
That's just part of life.
Okay, yeah. No doubt. So how do you feel, since you grew up in the ancient times, no, I'm just kidding, but technology and social media and stuff like that. I know personally, you don't really do none of that and stuff like that.
No.
So was there any kind of well, I guess there wasn't any kind of social media thing back then, so forget that. Scratch.
Well, our social media was the telephone.
Yeah.
But now, it's different because the millennials, now you all have the internet, the Snapchat.
Yeah, you got it right. Snapchat.
Oh, the Facebook and all of that, and though.
But I think a lot of older people are on Facebook though. Like
Well, that's
Facebook
true.
like your speed if you ever want to get.
That's true. It's
social
just that
media.
I don't do a lot of the technology, but that is true. Almost everybody is into more technology on the Facebook, the Snapchat, and really right now at this day and age for us, it is good because people network through
Absolutely.
Facebook and through Indeed and through different type of job sites. So the technology has really been positive.
Right.
Also, because you can do different things with the technology as well, besides just taking pictures and on Facebook and this and that. There's a lot of more advanced things that you could do also with it.
Okay, awesome. I always wanted to ask you this question, but I never
What
did.
is this question? Oh, God.
It's nothing bad, but did you ever want to have a girl growing up?
I did. I wanted my first to be a girl.
Dang. How about that? You great effing this up.
Yes, I did want a girl.
Mm-hmm.
But I love and accept what God gave me. I mean, I did want a girl, but it's not always what we want, it's what God wants for us. And for me, God wanted me to have 2 sons, and that's what I have. And so I'm very pleased, very happy with that. I'm thankful for that. And even for my special needs son, God evidently wanted me to have a special needs son, someone that I could really work with and put more influence into. So yeah, I gladly accepted what God gave me.
I feel it. Did you have a name already? Did you have an idea of what name you wanted to name her? Or no,
For a
not
girl?
really. Yeah.
No, I always liked the name Erica and Alexandria, but
Is that what my brother's
yes.
middle name is?
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes. So should you have a daughter, of course you know she will be spoiled to death by her grandmother.
And if I have a son, I already know who you are.
Yes, either. But I'm just thankful for what I have.
So what if I told you like I had a kid on the way right now?
I would not be pleased. I would not be pleased. I mean, because as a young man, I want what most mothers want for their children. I want you to be happy. I want you to excel. Of course, I want you to marry and have kids, but I want you to do it in time. You know, I want you to enjoy this time where you don't really have a lot of responsibilities. Because once you have children, that is a huge responsibility. And I want you to take on that responsibility. I want you to bring the grandkids to me for me to enjoy and send it back to you.
It sounds like this all about you.
No. So it's a huge responsibility. So, you know, but I want you to enjoy your life as it is before you take on that major responsibility. But it's your choice.
Sage advice. I like it. So at school, growing up, did y'all learn a lot about historically relevant women who made an impact on American history growing up?
We did, of course, but they didn't focus on the Black history as much. But yes, we did. And then you had to learn some on your own.
Yeah, they kind of just taught y'all about the Harriet Tubman and Rosa Parks.
Right.
And that was like they're the only 2 historically Black women to ever make an impact. That's I got you. They still do that now, pretty much.
Yes.
I think we learned about who's the first Black woman that went to space. Do you Mae
Jemison. Yes, Mae Jemison.
Jemison, that's right. Yeah, those 3 and nobody else. All right. Just kind of last question on the just history about women. I'd love to know if you could go back. Well, if you can go back in history and meet any woman, dead or alive, I won't just say dead. Who would it be and why? it doesn't have to be anybody like famous. It can literally be anybody you want.
Well, I mean, if I could go back in history and meet anyone, I would love to meet one of the ones you just mentioned, Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
Because she stepped out at a time when it was, I mean, it was crucial.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was something that we needed. She stepped out and did something that helped us as a black race to receive our rights, receive certain rights.
Right.
If she had not refused to sit there and not move to the back of the bus, she started a movement. And so for what she did, it took a lot of courage. I think it took strength and determination. And for those characteristics that she displayed, I would love to meet her just to thank her for what she did for us.
Mm.
And that's, if I could go back in history, that's who I would love to meet her. And presently, of course, I would love to meet Michelle Obama. I think she's awesome. I love Michelle Obama, and I think she's awesome. I think she has been one of the best first ladies that we have had. So I would love to meet her.
Yeah,
I think she's a great example of a mother, a wife, a worker, a black lady, and a motivator. So I would love to meet her.
Yeah, I was most definitely. I knew for the president you was probably gonna say Michelle Obama,
Yeah.
but I mean it's hard to disagree with that. Just the way she carried herself as a first lady, with so much pride and so much strength, and she was unapologetic about who she was, and I think that's why a lot of not only black women but just black people in general could really relate to Michelle Obama. I feel like people like Michelle Obama almost more than Barack.
Yes.
But
yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, no doubt. Well, I don't have anything else. If there's anything you'd like to finish saying, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, I would just like to say thank you. I really feel honored that you thought enough of me as your mother to have me as your first speaker for Women's History Month. And that means a lot to me because sometimes you don't always know I don't always know what you're thinking, but I know I have a good idea what's in your heart.
Yeah.
And so that means a lot to me that you would ask me to be your first speaker for Women's History Month. So I thank you.
No problem, man. I had this idea in mind for a long time when I first kind of started the podcast, and you would always be like, when you gonna put me on there? When you gonna put me on there?
Yes,
And
that's
like,
what you just said. I don't always know what
right,
you're thinking, and I think that's the mystery of you. But I do know that you have a good heart, and you know, and what I like is that you know what you want to do. And
yeah, absolutely. It's funny. She always would be like, "When you gonna put me on the podcast?" I'm not putting you on my podcast. What you talking about? But I always knew when the Women's History Month came up, I wanted to make sure you was my first guest because you were the first example to me of what a woman is, and not only that, but how a person should be. And I definitely feel like I carry a lot of my loving qualities and respectful qualities based on the example you and my dad set. So, I can't say it enough how much I appreciate you. And yeah, this was fun.
thank you. When you gonna have me on again?
I knew you was about to say that. All right, so we end this podcast every time the same way. I don't have to ask you because I know you saw this movie, but I'll ask you anyways. Haven't you seen The Wood, right? The Wood.
No, I haven't seen The Wood.
What? You haven't seen The Wood?
No.
Oh, are you serious?
Yes.
With Tay Diggs and Omar Epps and
No, I'll have to have you pull it up for me.
I don't know if you my mom. That's crazy. You haven't seen The Wood?
No, I never saw The Wood.
Man, my whole mood is just. But anyways, we in this podcast. We ended the same way. I say macking, and my guest says hanging. So macking, hanging. You got it. So I'm gonna say macking. You say hanging.
Okay.
Simple
okay,
enough.
Got
I
it.
still
I'm
can't
here.
believe you ain't never watched this movie. All right, here we go. Macking.
Hanging.
All right, that's a wrap. Peace and love. Until next time. Appreciate y'all.